playing Sunday on the Movie Channel.
Ian, I'm not crazy about that billing, babe. Hi, I'm Linda Blair. And tonight on Drive-In Theater, we have a movie I had a lot of fun making with Leslie Nielsen. And there's a funny story about that.
Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater.
Excuse me. Do you need something?
The name of the show is Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater. Not just Drive-In Theater, Joe Bob's Drive-In Theater.
Sorry.
We'll see you after, we'll see you after the movie with the regular interview. You know, Linda, as the month has gone on, I've felt a real bond developing between us.
You know, I have felt the same way, Arsenio.
$9,000 sight gags in that movie. Wasn't that great? I'm here with Linda Blair on Linda Blair Month, and Linda, I have to say, that was one of the stupidest movies I have ever seen, and I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, obviously, you're a very good sport about making fun of your role in The Exorcist. How do you really feel about people still remembering you for that after all these years?
Well, actually, I still take it as a compliment. Some people would say, you know, oh, you must get tired of people asking. But to be in a movie that everyone knows around the world, that's a compliment. And if you can be in one in your lifetime, then that's real cool. So I appreciate it. And it's a wonderful movie. I mean, it was scary. It affected people. It made you think. I mean, I'm proud to be part of it.
It is a great movie. How often do people come up to you and say, spin your head around? It's happened.
A lot. And they all think they're the first one. Oh, you're so original.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. What did you think of The Exorcist 3 last year? I know you weren't in it.
Right. Well, they did The Exorcist 3 at the same time we were doing Repossessed. And they weren't supposed to come out at the same time, but they did. So a lot of people got confused. And I was out promoting Repossessed, so I really never saw The Exorcist 3. I hear that it was very good.
You're saying there are dimwits walking around out there that couldn't tell the difference between The Exorcist 3 and Repossessed?
You know what they did is they thought with The Exorcist 3 that was the Linda Blair movie. And so if they went to see the comedy Repossessed, by accident they went to The Exorcist 3, or if they went to see The Exorcist 3, they saw the comedy and they were all confused and it was just really bad timing on both parts of the companies that put them out.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, since you worked with him?
Yes, about every 2 years we sit down and have dinner usually, and we just talk and talk. We're still close.
So you're buddies, despite what he did to you.
Oh, but I got him back. No.
Okay, well, for those not familiar with your really early career when you were young, you weren't just picked off the street for that role, were you? I mean, you had been a child actress for several years prior to that, hadn't you?
I started working when I was 5 in New York City, doing commercials and modeling. And when I was about 12, I said to my mom, look, this isn't really for me. I loved horses and I wanted to be a veterinarian. So I said, you know, I think I'm ready to stop. And she said, fine. And The Exorcist came along, and you always got excited when there was a movie that came up. So I went in and tried out for it, and I mean, obviously, eventually I got it. It took 3 months before that was a final decision.
So you were actually getting out of the business,
Yeah.
and that changed it and made you what you are today.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah. Well, in fact, you're one of the few child actresses who actually became a grown-up actress. So how'd you get so lucky in that department?
Well, they always talk about the change is really hard to make. Shirley Temple didn't choose to make it, and there's a couple other people. It's really difficult. And I think in my 20s, the market changed to like the 40-year-old market where Cher, Meryl Streep, Sally Field, they ruled. And there wasn't a lot of work for me to do. So I do films that either were overseas or they made for cable or whatever, just so that I could continue to work. And it is a hard change to make. I'm in my early 30s, and
You're so cold when you say that.
But the 20s, it was like I never really was an adult. I didn't look like an adult, you know. So I'm sort of just coming into it. I think now it's a good time for me. I hope so. And there's a lot of films I want to make.
Yeah, but even in those years when you say, you know, the market went in a different direction, you were still working. I mean, you never stopped working, did you? You made TV movies for a while, like Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic, and
But see, I was 16 when I did those.
Okay, well, what about like Victory at Entebbe?
Yeah, and then as I, in my 20s, I did all, you know, the Chained Heat, the Red Heat, Up Your Alley. Well, I love Up Your Alley. That was actually a couple years ago.
I'm guessing that the first real movie where you were the star, though, was Roller Boogie in 1981. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I had done, did Stranger in the House. That was a television movie. I did that when I was 19.
Okay.
I did a movie called Wild Horse Hank, which most people haven't seen. It's a horse movie.
Okay, but we're talking about my audience, Linda. So Roller Boogie is where that's where we first saw the perky Linda Blair, right?
Perky?
Your perky period?
I am a perky
Would you agree with
person.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I got to ask you about one other picture because it's so popular here on the show. Savage Streets. One of the most popular pictures we ever show and very popular in syndication, where you hunt down the sleazeballs who killed your little sister. Your little sister was Linnea Quigley. And you just blow them away. You brutally blow them away. I mean, you do worse stuff than Charles Bronson ever did.
Well.
Yeah, you do. I mean, admit it.
He was my role model.
Okay. Now, do you like that picture?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. They had asked me to do it, and I said no. And then some friends of mine were working on it, and I was, well, anyway, there I was. I went down to visit before they started filming, and I just decided I wanted to do it. And they said, would you still be interested? And I said, yeah, I want to. So I did it, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, I had some great one-liners in there.
Oh, yeah, it was a wonderful picture with that crossbow and the giant bear trap, and you just destroy it. Are you really that tough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta let people think I am.
All right. Well, we know, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to say that you'll be with us one more week on the Linda Blair Film Festival. Next week's movie is W.B. Blue and the Bean. And Linda, gosh, I missed that one when it came out. So anything you'd like to say about it?
David Hasselhoff's in it. He's cute.
Well, I'll take your word for it. Okay. Right now we're going to watch One Man Force, starring the late John Matusak. And you ever work with John?
No, I
didn't. You know who he
didn't.
is? This was John's last film, unfortunately. He plays a maniac cop who wants to hunt down some drug dealers and destroy them. And a few months after this movie came out, John died of a drug overdose, and it was a tough loss because he was just starting to do some interesting work as an actor, kind of loosening up just a little bit. And I thought he could have been really good. Co-stars Ronnie Cox, great character actor, one of my all-time favorite bad guys. Charles Napier, you ever work with him?
Nope.
Best known from Russ Meyer's movies, the guy with the twisted smile, really cruel guy. Watch for him. His name is Dante in this movie. It's rated R. And anything you'd like to add? Have you seen this movie?
No, I haven't,
One Man
but I'm
Force?
sure anxious to watch. And, of course, we're going to watch now.
Yeah, Linda, you know, I keep asking you about these movies, and you haven't seen them. We're kind of losing faith in you, huh? Check it out. 2 breaths, 17 dead bodies, 4 motor vehicle chases with 2 crash and burns, 3 stars. I'll be back one more time after it's all over.